So you guys, I'm super excited for our next guest because not only is he a personal friend, let's bring him on, DJ Vince Adams.
Yeah.
He's a close personal friend. He's actually frat brothers, line brothers with my husband. They're alphas. And so they've known each other for years. However, he also DJ'd at our wedding. He's been a DJ in the community for so many years, just a respected guy and a good guy personally too. So Vince, what's up?
Hey, what's up, sis? How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, one of my favorite DJs.
I appreciate you, Felicia.
You got
How's
good
it
dirt
going,
on
John?
Felicia.
Amy, so good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. You got good dirt on Felicia that you can share with us, or what?
She just happens to be the sweetest woman that you could ever meet. I mean, that's about as dirty as it gets for Felicia.
I know you.
Now I want to hear the real dirt on my husband. I need to arm myself in this battle of marriage. It's a war, and I'm gonna win.
Well, if I give how long I've known Teddy in chronological years, it might incriminate Felicia. So with that being the case, let's just say that Teddy and I have a long-standing relationship that goes back many, many years. Absolutely.
Vince, how quickly into this did you realize I got to do something different? I don't have the live performances. I got to get online. I got to get doing this.
Well, you know what? I can tell you, John, that I didn't really feel pressure or kind of like, hey, let's make something happen. It really was more inspirational, just given the fact that you could feel in the air a lot of anxiety. Of course, this was, I think my first live performance may have been the second weekend of March. Mm-hmm. So when we first kind of got the word that, hey, something's going on here. Oh, you know what? It was actually the third weekend. And here's how I know. It was the weekend following, we're all here in Chicago. It was the weekend following the O'Hare Airport incident where, the travel was banned and there were thousands of people waiting in customs. Yeah. So it was the weekend following that. So we know the level of anxiety. You guys are, in the studio, like, are we coming back? Are we not coming back? There was a lot of that for each and every individual, but I just saw the healing power of D Nice. I have to give him a lot of credit. We've all heard now about his club quarantine that took place actually that same weekend, where, celebrities from around the country and actually people from around the world came in, and I saw what it is that he did. And I just said, wow, well, if you're in a club quarantine party, that's fantastic. But it's almost kind of like we've all been at a party where you hear that there's a celebrity sighting. So, maybe Jay-Z's there or someone else is in VIP and you're like looking, trying to get in and see who's there. And that's the way the party may have felt for some individuals that saw the shout outs to Quincy Jones or Lenny Kravitz or Michelle Obama, but they're like, hey, I'm here too. So as opposed to being a fly on the wall, much like what you all do here, you bring down that fourth wall and allow people in. And so I just saw an opportunity to make an inclusive experience for people, not so much like, hey, I've got to do something, but I was like, wow, this would be a great way to give back.
Yeah. Are you surprised by how popular it got so quickly?
Yes and no. I didn't expect for it to become successful for me. I know D Nice personally. We've worked together over the years in many different states. So when you DJ for a P. Diddy white party, or you DJ for Rock Nation, Jay-Z, Grammys brunch, you expect that a lot of people are going to come in. But just relative to how it worked for me, it wasn't like I can do that too. That wasn't the thought as much as, wow, this would be a great way to kind of connect. And, maybe 200-300 people will come in and we'll have a good time. And when it grew to thousands and tens of thousands of replays, I said, wow, I had no idea that it would be this magnetic. And I'll share, I don't think that those numbers are going to stick. We're all kind of becoming a little COVID acclimated, if you will, if I can make it, so we're like, hey, I run my errands here, or, go from point A to point B here. We're not kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a new club opens up, everyone goes to that club, but now as we start to get used, it's like normal life in a way.
New restaurant, 6-month waiting list to get in, and then 6 months later you walk in and you can get a table right away. Absolutely, but the restaurant is still there. The quality is still known as a good place to be, and this will morph, and I'm sure we'll talk about it as well. This will morph into something new and exciting on its own. So the virtual party isn't going away. Just maybe the anticipation of the next one dies down a little bit, but it's something you can count on.
Yeah, but Vince is so humble. So I've heard his lives in our house, and it has brought so much joy and energy. And when you look at the live feed, you look and it's 50, 60,000 people just literally sitting there watching Vince spin, spin and play music. And I mean, I think that speaks to the healing power of music. It also speaks to who you are, Vince. When you see that, what's the thought that comes to your head?
Well, here's what I can tell you. I get literally at the end of the party, there's tens of thousands of comments.
Yeah.
And so everyone is like, hey, 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 hey. And I can only catch so much, say so much, as everything is happening at the same time. So the incredible thing is to actually, sometimes I go back and look for snippets that I can add and to read the comments and the fact that people are actually having a great time. They're partying. I even had Baldhead Phillips. He's a comedian, a well-known Chicago comedian. He was in a hospital in Atlanta saying, oh my God, I'm having such a great time while I'm sick here in the hospital with COVID-19. Thank you so much for just providing this opportunity. So it's amazing because I can't see the fact that everyone in the party is having a party, whether it's in their basement, their living room, their bedroom, kitchen, they're taking the party right there with them.
So that's interesting. What keeps you going? Because you're kind of like in this own box by your
world
with, the people in your house. But like, what keeps you going in the energy?
Well, it's really the activity and the call and response in the chat thread. Something that's very different about my party. Two things. One is the fact that I'm talking in order to get past the Facebook algorithms.
Yeah.
So Facebook, a lot of people have seen, especially on Instagram, how you're in the party for 15 minutes and it shuts down. You're in the party for 25 minutes and it shuts down. Well, the consistent cadence of me interacting with the music and interacting with the people allows me to play a little bit longer than you typically would. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is the fact that when a person hears their alma mater or they hear their fraternity or sorority, they actually now call a friend or share the message and say, you need to be here in the party. So as opposed to kind of being just an observer of the experience, it is your experience. It turns into your party. So that's what keeps me going, Felicia. It's really creating the energy for each individual person who's having a good time in the party.
It's almost like a good time to be an artist like you, because I would imagine, normally when you're DJing and you're at a party, people are listening to the music, but they're also talking to friends, they're doing other things. Now they're just focused in on the music and what you do, and then they can hear the talent there too, so much more so.
Well, Amy, I want to tell you, it's really a blessing in my regard, because if we think about, you really just set the stage perfectly. If you go to the typical party, there's I get a drink at the bar. You're trying to get the bartender's attention. A friend comes, you give them a hug, you have a 15-minute, back and forth, and then you make your way to your table. Then you go to the dance floor for 20 minutes. So really how much of the DJ's attention people have, especially selfies and all the things that we have in 21st century partying, you really only have the DJ's attention for about 15, or the DJ has your attention for 15, 25% of the time you're at the party. Here, it's a very, like you're in the spotlight, which can be a bad thing or it can be a good thing. So I've just tried to make it a good thing for me, because it really does become about like, what are you doing next? What do you, so my brother, I actually live in the South Loop. He lives directly across the street from me. My neighbors are party adverse. His neighbors are party favorable. So the party is at his wonderful home so much. I really appreciate him and his wife for allowing me to kind of invade their space for these. But my point is, we do shots. It's like, hey, it's time for a shot. What are you drinking at home? And everybody's like, hey, I'm drinking Jameson. I'm doing Tito's. And
you guys, you have no idea. I'm literally having flashbacks to like 2009. And Vince was on the ones and twos. We were at Green Dolphin. I'm wearing a dress that's too small and doesn't fit right now. And then all of a sudden I ended up married. Vince, that's the summation of the last 10 years of my life.
I love the way you were able to make a mess at your brother's house instead of yours. Oh, yes. Yeah, they're party adverse. Yeah, okay.
Here's what I can tell you. The one thing about it is, credit to my fiance. We set up the party and we set it up the way his house was set up. And he has a 180 view of the city. And she said, that looks good, but you guys should move it over. Well, that meant that we had to move his entire furniture around in the house. So literally every party, but his wife was happy with it. So happy wife, happy life. She said, that's a good look. And it's really an incredible, almost panoramic shot of the north view of Chicago. So it's been incredible. And for anyone who misses the party, the great thing is that the replays oftentimes are on Facebook. So if you kind of want to hear what we're talking about, you can go to my page, Vince Adams, and catch a replay.
So you got a lot of people showing you some love in our comments right now, particularly one from Margaret Dorsey.
I'm like, Mom, that must be Mom. If there's a particular, that's Mom.
That's a particular one. Hey, Miss Margaret. But so in these, you're also playing a lot of house music and a lot of music that's native to Chicago that people are watching from all over the globe.
Right. Well, here's what I can say. I mean, we know that Chicago is really a city with a lot of roots. So if I move to Texas, if I move to Florida, if I move to California, I don't get the energy of Chicago the same way. So this has really been an incredible way for people to reconnect to Chicago. So I tend to intersperse, or I guess you could say alternate my parties. One will be focused on the Chicago energy or the classic house. And then the next one will be what I call open format, where we're really looking to incorporate more styles, more, different inclusive energy outside of Chicago. And that's been a real good balance.
I've been kind of amazed, we're doing this show now online in our own homes, etc. But after the show, I still kind of feel that, like that was exhausting. Do you feel like that after your party? Like the same way when you're doing it in the club?
For me, yes. But for the attendee, it's even worse, or better worse, I guess you could say, because they'll say, I need a nap. Or, after the party, I went to bed at 4 o'clock and I woke up and it was 3.
That's because the drinks are cheaper at home. That's right.
And here's, just a segue to that, John. I really see the next wave of the virtual party being, okay, all clear in, let's say, June. But the virtual party is going on, and maybe instead of looking to go to a lounge, maybe going to a club, you invite 5 friends over, you put the party on your big screen, someone has a sound bar, and it's you in a very intimate and controlled environment having a good time. But there could be 400, 600 of these happening simultaneously with 5, 7 people per party. So you've got thousands of people, but they're now in satellite parties all having a
That's cool.
good time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just gives people a reason to get dressed up, put some real clothes on, and have a little bit of fun, because music is just so uplifting.
Yeah, and Amy, that's the theme of the next party that's coming up on Saturday. It's an all house music party, but it's really geared for everyone to put on your spring fly gear. So, I'm in a hoodie, Felicia has on sweats. You can't see them right now. We've all been dressed down for the last, 6-7 weeks. This is an opportunity for people to get their favorite cocktail, put on, an outfit that they otherwise would wear out, post a picture of yourself, celebrate, maybe call a couple buddies, have a watch party. That's the energy of the party on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm having a special Mother's Day edition.
Bring your mom to the club.
But it's an all Soul Sunday for moms. This coming Sunday.
Stacy Hall says she gotta get her knees going from dancing the entire time. She gotta her knees.
Thanks so much, Stacy.
So what about the project that you're working on? Tell me about this.
Yeah, we can see it right behind me. I mean, the incredible thing is I'm a man of action, I'll say. So I had an idea on Friday night, and I'll tell the story super quick. I got a tag from a buddy. His name is Steve Silk Hurley, 4-time Grammy nominated producer and DJ, a legend and icon and pioneer in house music. And I got a tag from him. And I said, I was supposed to have a conversation with Steve about house music 4 years ago. This is an incredible time to have this conversation in front of the world. Well, I know this person, I know that person, I know this person. And then it was like, wow, being a fan of house music, this is really a great opportunity to use my resources and connections and bring the world of house that's still thriving today into a more commercial audience where they can say, oh, wow, I didn't know that these songs were still being made, or I didn't know that this was still thriving in this regard. So it's a huge subculture. But I said, as a fan, I would love to be able to bring these stories to light. So the first edition of the Voices of House Music with DJ Vince Adams is tomorrow. And then my first guest, my inaugural guest, is Steve. But then immediately following, I have one of the creators of the house music picnic that we hear so much here, the Chosen Few DJs. Alan King will be my second guest. And then 2 weeks from now, I've got a third guest that's a Chicago celebrity that he lives in Hollywood, but he's going to be on the show. And so I'm going to save that as a teaser. But we've got an incredible line of people saying, I want to be a part of this new experience of telling the story of house music.
Well, house music in Chicago, it just represents such a huge part of the culture, a time where it was safe to go to people's houses. Yeah. It wasn't getting shut down and everything. And just the music, I think the culture lives on within the music. So Vince, thank you so much for taking some time to spread some spotlight on that, highlight that and everything. And then
I'm joining the party on Saturday, I tell you what.
Yeah, all this music
John,
and
can't wait to see you there. Make sure you have your shot, and I'll give you a shout out as well.
I'll have more. And they serve my stuff at your club. Let me tell you.
Hey, I think everyone gets exactly what they want in my party. So
I love it.
That's what it is. If it's in your cabinet, we're serving it.
My brain is there.
Vince, thank you. Thanks for your time.
And you can also, of course, catch up with DJ Vince Adams on Facebook and Twitter, and also on the webpage, podcast there as well.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. Such a nice guy, you guys. He's so sweet.
His mom must be proud.
Yeah. She is. She's a nice lady too. Really, really cool.